This mini RV behind me is the Wingamm Oasi 540.1. It is a mini Class B camper van, and the thing that makes it so unique is that it's made in Italy and they bring it over here for the US consumer. Now, 3 years ago, we showed you the prototype Oasi, but now it's finally in production and being shipped to the US to customers. And today, I'm gonna give you a quick tour inside and out of this micro camper van. Now, the first feature I should mention about the Oasi 540.1 is its size. It is 17 feet 10 inches long, which makes this one of the smallest RVs on the market. The other interesting feature with this is that it has a monocoque fiberglass shell. This has 1 inch insulation in it and it's absolutely solid. The Wingamm rep was showing us their panels versus other panels, and he was using a mallet to hit them, and the Oasi panels weren't denting, the other ones not so much. Now, on the driver's side, there is a nice large storage bay. This is lockable, and what's interesting about this that I haven't seen on other RVs before is that this lock actually uses the key fob for the van. So all I have to do is unlock the van, push that button. This storage cabinet is also accessible from inside the RV. So if you needed to reach down to grab something and you didn't want to come outside, you could do that from in here. This is the freshwater fill, which is gravity fed. 30 amp shore plug, city water connection, and this is where the cassette is held for the toilet. Another feature I haven't seen on a mini RV is this rear storage cabinet. The cabinet is lockable, and you use this key to open it. One of the practical uses for this rear cabinet is to store additional cassettes for your toilet, which can extend your time out when you're boondocking. One thing I want to talk about is how these actually get built. This is built on the Ram ProMaster chassis with the gas engine. What they do is they take the chassis, they ship it over to Italy, and then they shorten that chassis and they put the monocoque shell on. And one thing I love about this is there are really no seams between the chassis and the shell. You can see the shell starts over here, comes down, and it's nice and smooth. And when we were driving this, and I'll show you that later, you really did not hear any wind noise going past this. It felt very aerodynamic. There is a manual Fiamma awning, LED light, and here is where they keep the two 20-pound propane tanks. There's a latch to hold the door, and then this nice trash can. The way Kate and I use the trash can is a little bit different. We actually use this for shoe storage, so we love having this bin here because we can take our shoes off when we go inside, toss them in the bin, grab them on our way out. All right, we are inside the Oasi 540.1. And the first impression I get when I come in here is it is much bigger inside than it looks from the outside. I think a big part of that is the shell on here, because this can actually be wider than your standard ProMaster van. If you look at this, the ProMaster van would usually come to about here, so they can extend that few inches on both sides, which really increases your living room. I'm going to start this tour from the front of the Oasi. To give you an idea of headroom inside the Oasi, I am 5'11" and I've got my tall shoes on today. So the floor to ceiling height under the bed, this is a drop down bed, is 6 foot. The entryway where I came in is 6'6". Now let's talk about the living room area. Driver and passenger seats do flip around, and you have this large table for a family in here. Now this does seat 4 people with seat belts, but you can seat even more in the dining area. This table does move back and forth, side to side, and there's a little latch under here. There it is, where if you do that, you can actually turn the table so you can use it for these front 2 seats. The other interesting thing about this table is it makes the second bed. So if you're traveling with a family of 4, The two adults can sleep up above, and then the kids can sleep on this bed down here. And there's a mattress you can put down on top of the table and pull these out so you have your second bed. Since I showed you the second bed, let me show you the main bed. First thing I need to do is just turn this out of the way and then just pull down on the bed. There's a ladder to get in and out. As you can see, the bed is a north-south arrangement, and there is plenty of headroom above the bed. There's this nice big skylight, pockets and reading lights along the side, and if you need to, there are touch panels next to the bed on both sides so that you control the lighting from the bed. And you can also reach the cabinets from the bed as well. So here is the galley. There are little pockets that are lit behind it. Sink, 2-burner gas stove. There are cabinets above the sink and plenty of drawers down below. There's a compressor style refrigerator. Now in terms of power, this comes standard with 200 amp hours of lithium battery, a 2000 watt inverter, and 130 watts of solar on the roof. This is where the 2 additional passengers would sit, and in order for them to sit here, you just remove a couple of these cushions so that they would have room. Now let's go into what I think is the biggest bathroom I've seen in a small camper. There's a vent fan in the ceiling, nice sized window, shower on the left since this is a wet bath, nice large mirror. You've got your cassette toilet and sink. And in terms of tank sizes, this has 26 gallons of fresh water and 18 gallons of gray water. I mean, this is big enough for me to take a shower, move around in. I have plenty of head space. It's roomy. I love this shower. For AC, they have a 12-volt unit that runs directly off of the batteries. And then for heat, they have a Truma combi system. This is your water heater and furnace. There's also more storage back here for larger items. This is a hanging closet. And you've got even more storage down below. There's also the Firefly system on this, which controls all the different aspects of the RV through this panel, your AC, your heat, all your lights, and everything else. And one last feature I want to point out is this screen door. Now, once I opened this door, something was very apparent. We're right next to the highway, we're at the fairgrounds, so it's really loud, and you can probably hear that outside with the birds and everything. Inside, it was very quiet. It has the monocoque shell with all that insulation, plus, I did forget to mention, 2-inch floor, which has channels through it, which will take the heat from the furnace through the floor, and then you kind of have radiant heating in here as well. But what that does is it keeps the inside of the camper very quiet and well insulated. Now everyone's favorite question, how much is it? The Wingamm Oasi 540.1 MSRP starts at $188.5 and goes up from there depending on the options you pick. When you do go to buy one, you'll get to select all of your options, and then it gets custom built for you in Italy and shipped over to the United States. And when you go to do your pickup, you get this lovely little box, which includes 2 key fobs and your concierge card. Now I've showed you this first look of the Wingamm. Let's take it out for a drive. So one thing the Wingamm team told me I should try is doing a full turn, because apparently this thing has a really good turning radius. So that is the first thing I'm going to try before I get on the road. So let's see here. No one coming. Oh, that is pretty impressive. I would say most of the time when you're traveling in a camper, you're going to be on the interstate. So that's where we're going to head first. So far, this is driving really well, nice and smooth, very little road noise, which is lovely. And there's no whistles or noise coming off of the camper itself, so it feels like it's very aerodynamic. Okay, so one thing with campers is seeing whether or not they fit in a normal parking spot. Let's see how we do. This thing is really maneuverable. I would say this is a pretty tight parking lot. And yeah, we're in. We're not sticking over side to side, fit just right, and the back end is not hanging out. Well, that was just a quick test drive of the Wingamm Oasi 540.1. I think this being a mini RV, the size of it really shines at 17 feet 10 inches long when you're trying to maneuver this around a tight parking spot or even a downtown area. Now, I would love to know what you think of the Wingamm down in the comments below. Let me know what you think of this micro camper van. But that is it for our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to see more content of other camper walkthroughs we've done on our channel, head on over to We're the Russos. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Wait, you're still here? Well, I guess that means you're in need of a good book, and I've got two for you. Take Risks and Tales from the Open Road, available on Amazon and pretty much anywhere else you can buy books these days.